Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys' waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been queuing for some grouper tread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. Sea, the future.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up to the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. After days of counting, the official election numbers are in. The nation's chief offering his thoughts on the country's record low voter turnout. And the FNM chairman responding to queries about the future leadership of the party. Details of those stories and more coming up in the Bahamas tonight. The weekend edition returns.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day,
We're just like you.
living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. I'm Amajal Knowles. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news, the Parliamentary Registration Department has released official election results confirming the Progressive Liberal Party's landslide 32-7 victory over the Free National Movement. The results released late yesterday also reflecting the major impact made by third-party candidates and independents. Here's Kelsey Johnson.
The Progressive Liberal Party's resounding victory at the polls on Thursday, September 16th, was confirmed by the Parliamentary Registration Department late Saturday. Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Brave Davis QC led a team of candidates, mostly political novices, to a landslide victory, winning 32 of 39 seats. The results also meant that former Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis' tenure lasted for less than 5 years, a first for a Prime Minister in an independent Bahamas. The PLP won all except one of the seats in the Family Islands. Here in New Providence, the six-way race in the Bain and Grantstown constituency was won by PLP's Wade Watson with 1,835 votes. Incumbent Travis Robinson, 76 votes. The four independent candidates received a combined 302 votes. Watson defeated Robinson by 1,073 votes. Former Minister of Health Renwood Wells secured 1,145 votes in the Bamboo Town constituency. Member of Parliament-elect Patricia DeVos secured 1,790. Coalition of Independents candidate and Deputy Leader Maria Daxon polled 378 votes. The Carmichael constituency is under the PLP's banner with Keith Bell defeating the former Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Desmond Bannister, by 319 votes. Bell secured 1,922 votes to Bannister's 1,603 votes. Arinthia Komalathe, leader of the Democratic National Alliance, secured 210 votes. One of the most highly contested seats in this year's general election was in Elizabeth, where incumbent Dr. Dwayne Sands took on PLP Senator JoBeth Colby Davis and 5 other candidates. In the end, Colby Davis emerged victorious, beating Sands by 377 votes, 1,083 to 1,516. Newly elected Member of Parliament for the Centerville constituency, Jomo Campbell, won by more than 1,561 votes in Centerville. His closest competitor was the FNM's candidate, Courtney Kalilaby, who secured 609 votes. The Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin's margin of victory was more than 1,700 votes. Her victory in Angliston, 2,249 votes to the FNM's candidate, Quinton Percente's 498 votes. In Marathon, PLP's Lisa Ramming secured 2,050 votes, beating out former Minister of Housing Romelda Ferreira, who mustered 884 votes. The story was the same for Mario Bolag, Garden Hills Member of Parliament. Bolag's 1,780 votes over the 12 polling divisions was enough to give him the nod over Stephen Greenslade, who failed to break the 1,000 marker, securing 944 votes. Alfred says QC doubled the votes of his closest opponent in the Fort Charlotte constituency, the FNM's Tramiko Archer. Sayers secured 2,777 votes to Archer's 910 votes. As for Cat Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador, 876 persons voted for Prime Minister Davis and 359 for Felicia Knowles, the FNM candidate. Deputy Prime Minister and newly appointed Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, I. Chester Cooper, doubled up on the votes of his opponent, former Senator Jennifer Isaacs Dotson, who secured 678 votes to Cooper's 1,825 votes. The Free National Movement won 3 seats on New Providence, including Killarney, St. Anne's, and St. Barnabas. Just 1 in the Family Island, Long Island. The remaining 3 seats were won in Grand Bahama, Marco City, Central Grand Bahama, and East Grand Bahama. Much speculation surrounded the Killarney constituency, especially after the Parliamentary Registration Department confirmed that the recount in this area was the last to be completed late Saturday night. The former Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, was able to stave off the PLP's Ronald Duncombe. The FNM's leader secured 2,501 votes and Duncombe 1,948, a difference of 553 votes. St. Barnabas constituency was another hot contest. On the ticket for the FNM, the incumbent, Shanadon Cartwright, who is being challenged by political veteran, the PLP's Michael Halkitis. In the end, Cartwright would return the over-the-hill community to the FNM, winning 1,420 to 1,309. Michael Pintard is the most senior of the 3 FNM candidates coming out of Grand Bahama. 7 persons, including PLP's Kurt Hollingsworth, challenged the FNM's incumbent for the Marco City seat. Pintard secured 2,340 votes to Hollingsworth, who secured 1,359 votes. As mentioned, Long Island was the only Family Island seat the FNM was able to secure. Adrian Gibson secured 728 votes to lead the 4-man race that included PLP's candidate Tyrell Young. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
With Thursday's election now in the books, there were several storylines that emerged, the major one being a record low voter turnout, Prime Minister Davis offering his rationale for the low numbers.
A lot of tactics to suppress the votes. There's a lot of misinformation going on about how one can vote, how one not could vote. There were a lot of displaced voters who may have lost their entitlement to vote because they did not have the opportunity to either transfer into the constituency that they had been displaced in and or the ability to just to get registered. That because of the snap election without the kind of notice that is usually given in regard to our conventions in the Westminster system. I'm not surprised that the voter turnout was as it.
There were several notable campaign promises the Progressive Party made on the campaign trail to help reduce the everyday burden for Bahamians. One of them, the reduction of value-added tax to 10% for 1 year, as opposed to the current 12% tax. Prime Minister Davis had this to say about the prospect.
As soon as we get into as soon as I decide on our Minister of Finance and what we'll do with that, we will very shortly make an announcement on that in the coming week.
Many new faces will make up the parliament when it resumes October 6, including a history-making percentage of women. Of the 39 seats in parliament, 7 of them are held by women, marking a 17% female presence. We talked to many of the women and their male counterparts who say they're ready to bring change. Here's Keishla Adderley.
Power 7.
And what does that mean?
We've broken the glass ceiling.
Who knew individual victories at the polls would propel these women into parliamentary history? The Power 7, all members of the governing Progressive Liberal Party, say they plan to shatter much more than the status quo.
We're not coming into the political realm to figure out how to do things. We've been persons that have been effective in our various roles in private life, and that's what we will bring to politics. We'll bring the follow-through. We'll bring the compassion. We will bring the ability to multitask. We'll be able to bring all that is required to lead successfully, but from a place of love and compassion. And that's what I think the people have been asking for as we visited them door to door.
That our leader is going to make an amazing Prime Minister with his leadership skills. We're ready to work.
Door to door and woman to woman, Patricia DeVoe, the Member of Parliament-elect for Bambootown, says she plans to turn her experience into a win for women everywhere.
I am a single mom. I'm a past public servant. And so each of us bring different values to the front line. And so I think we're going to do exceptionally well. I think when you box all of us together, we're going to create a new day in this country. And I'm creating a new day because here I am saying to the women of this country, it's definitely not how you start, but it's how you finish.
The men of the party are also solidifying their plans, vowing to maintain the on-the-ground presence that secured their support.
Well, the first thing I can do in the next 21 days is to go in every polling division in Garden Hills and ask the constituents to recommend 2 individuals that will help me put a team together that will manage the community affairs infrastructure development. I don't no longer believe that you can be an successful member of parliament and effectively and efficiently serve your community by yourself. So once that team is in place, we'll now implement the rest of plans. One thing I want to do is empower the people in Garden Hills, and by doing so, my job is to find the funding and resources to get the job done.
The first thing that we would like to see, and I say we because I speak on behalf of the people of Centerville, is an understanding of the pain that the ordinary citizen is going through. The last 2 years, as you said, have been extremely rough. And I think that in the past few years, some politicians have, become out of touch with the people. So the most important thing for us now, and it should have already happened through the campaigning stage, is to form a connection with all of the constituents, the residents in whichever specific area the MP represents.
Marathon Member of Parliament-elect Lisa Ramming knows a thing or two about taking charge. The former police officer, months into her series of community programs, is looking forward to the next cohort of entrepreneurs, be they man, woman, or child.
We've also started an apprenticeship program months ago for children between the ages, or young adults I should say, between the ages of 15 to 32. And I thank all of the marathon businessmen who've came forward to accept the vision of taking in these young people and training them in all the technical skills that they need. And the training is still going on. The first class soon graduate, and then we'll be taking on another graduation class. And of course, I look forward to emulating the entrepreneurship program for those persons who, want to be young entrepreneurs, because we are encouraging persons not just to be an employee, but an employer, because we see what the pandemic have done to so many persons who have lost their jobs. So I just want the people of Marathon to know I don't want them to lose hope, not under my leadership and representation.
Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
The Commonwealth Election Observer Group, headed by former Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding, has released its preliminary findings on the processes before, during, and after the general elections of last Thursday, though declaring that voting was credible, inclusive, and transparent. The 7-page report also offered recommendations on several areas it saw as deficient. The group reiterates a 2017 recommendation for the government to consider reviewing the existing legal framework for the conduct of elections. The group also notes feedback from most stakeholders that there was insufficient communication on the part of the Parliamentary Registration Department to key electoral officials and the public at large on some of these necessary adjustments. The report notes that in light of changes to the Parliamentary Registration Act establishing a permanent register, the expansion of the eligibility for early voting, along with uncertainties regarding voter registration for displaced persons, there was a need for a strong voter education program ahead of this general election, while noting that snap election presented a tight time frame for such voter education. A number of stakeholders nonetheless regarded the efforts of the Parliamentary Registration Department to be inadequate in this regard. The report also highlights the observation of stakeholders that there was some uncertainty surrounding the status of those persons who were displaced by the impact of Hurricane Dorian in 2019 and whether they could vote in their new locations. This, the report notes, affected those voters who were originally located in Abaco and Grand Bahama in particular. The report did, however, praise a positive development, the new law also entitling registered voters with disabilities or those aged 65 and above to apply for early voting. The report also refers to political parties and their claims that they had no opportunity to review the list of polling officials or the location of polling stations. On that score, the group says the transparent conduct of elections would be enhanced if there was consultation with political parties and candidates before these important decisions are made. The report also calls the registration card that is issued to each voter as deficient in many respects, referring to its handwritten form and lack of security features, among other things. And what is the next step for the Free National Movement? The question swirling as the party accepts its election defeat. Our news team contacted F&M Chairman Carl Culmer, asking him if a new leader may be emerging.
The council and the delegates from the convention speak to what desire they would like to see go forward. So whatever the result or the decision of the council, that's what we all will have to live with and help to work with that leader, whoever that may be, and move the country and the F&M forward.
We questioned Culmer about the names of possible new leaders. He had this to say.
You know, one of the things that I don't run or the F&M, we don't live on rumors, we would be also, and we will not allow our party to disintegrate because of leadership. I believe our persons understand that there's only be one leader at a time. And so at the end of the day, whoever the leader is, the party and our supporters will surround them with support.
And when we return, Bethel Baptist remembers Pastor Timothy Stewart. More on this story when Bombs Tonight, the Weekend Edition returns.
At BPL, we are champions of safety.
It is at this core of every decision, every project, and before the start of every job, we think safe and we work safe.
We ensure that our work environment is clean and free of debris, and we perform daily inspection on our equipment, tools, and vehicles. These simple but important steps help us to be more productive and prevent possible injuries.
As employees, we realize that we have a responsibility to ourselves and our co-workers to follow all the necessary protocols. That means wearing the correct PPE for the jobs that we are about to tackle. Hard hats, steel-toe boots, proper eyewear, and company-issued uniforms.
It's a shared responsibility for us. By following these simple but important safety protocols, we'll reach our goal of getting to zero. Zero on-the-job injuries and zero lost-time accidents.
Everyone's excited about the $8 meal of the day. Every day, it's a different 6-inch sub, plus chips and a 20-ounce drink for just $8. That feels like fresh value. Come in any day of the week for one of your favorite 6-inch subs. Like turkey breast, meatball marinara, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, black forest ham, Italian BMT, oven roasted chicken, and tuna. Then add chips and a 20-ounce drink, and you've got the $8 meal of the day. A great meal at a great price every day of the week. Only at Subway.
I miss going out with my friends and dancing the night away.
I miss being asked, you want to sit inside or outside at a restaurant?
I really miss traveling without having to get these COVID tests stuck up my nose.
I miss not having to wear a mask everywhere.
I miss going out to see a late night movie.
Want the pandemic to end? Make your appointment now to get vaccinated.
This message has been brought to you by the Government of the Bahamas in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Police in the capital probing the country's latest homicide. Police responding to calls about a shooting incident around 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon in the area of Milton Street. Police press liaison officer SP Audley Peters spoke with reporters on the scene.
Sometime around 2:40 p.m., the police received information of a shooting incident that occurred on Milton Street. Officers were dispatched, and on the arrival of the first responding officers, they were directed to a black Nissan March that was parked on the southern side of Milton Street. An inspection of the vehicle revealed a dark male slumped over the driver's seat with multiple wounds consistent with gunshot. This vehicle was extensively damaged. The investigations are ongoing, and that is much as we have at the moment that we can share with you.
The victim's aunt, Carla Johnson, confirmed the deceased as Walter Augustus Johnson, an area resident and father of two.
Okay, AJ was a quiet person. He had his challenges. Despite that, he just had 2 children born, and he was trying to be a good father. You understand?
How hard and difficult it is growing up in this type of community?
Well, the fact that you're in the ghetto, you have a stigma. You understand it, and there's a lot of peer pressure, everything here, but through it all, family love is what holds us together.
And dozens turning out today at the historic Bethel Baptist Church as family and friends attended service for the first time since the passing of the church's pastor, Reverend Dr. Timothy Stewart. Our Lord Allen was there as many tearfully remembered the man who led the congregation for the past 38 years.
Parishioners at Bethel Baptist Church today hosting service for the first time following the death of its senior pastor, Timothy Stewart, following his passing on Friday. According to Associate Minister Reverend Patrick McFall, Stewart was instrumental in mentoring him and dozens more in ministry over the years.
Over the years, we have grown to be very, very close. He is definitely a spiritual father to me. I look up to him. I like to say every time I have an opportunity to say it, he is my leader by God's divine choice, but also by my personal choice.
McFall added that Stewart's life will stand as a monument of humility and passion for helping others.
I think that he's left a legacy, not one that looks out for personal interests, but a legacy that looks out for the interests of people around him, not only people around him, but people of his congregation and people of this nation.
Reverend Lavette McFall, who served as the assistant to Stewart, says Stewart was the ultimate servant leader.
His mantra was to always serve God with everything you had. When he preached, he poured everything out. You would think he was preaching his last sermon. When he loved hard. When he gave, he emptied out his pocket. When they came from all over, many of them you would think was working for pastor. When he showed up, they were waiting for him because they knew he would help them.
She added that Stewart was also a large part of the success of many couples seeking counsel.
And I believe it's because of his blessing that this union has survived the test of time. He will tell you that there were many times pastor called and encouraged him. There were times when pastor said, I need you. And he could tell you how pastor said to him, there is a McFall who will work with me in ministry. And he said to him, because his brother was the treasurer, he had the time. He said, you have one. Pastor said, no, not him. It's going to be you.
Reverend A. DeWitt Hutchinson says he's known Stewart for more than 30 years. In one word, he describes Stewart as consequential.
No one person has had as much of an impact on my life, shaping my ministerial life as his. So his life has been the most consequential from a ministerial point of view in my life to date.
Pastor Stewart's reach has extended beyond the borders of his church. aligning him with religious and political leaders locally and abroad. And as plans remain ongoing for his final farewell service, the church says donations are welcomed.
To the Progressive National Baptist Convention Incorporated USA and all the millions of people, pray for us. They could send love gifts of support to the historic Bethel Baptist Church. We are seeking to do a scholarship, something in his honor.
Pastor Timothy Stewart served in ministry for 38 years prior to his passing. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
The Kiwanis Club has reached the end of its administrative year, which runs from October 1st to September 30th. To culminate that milestone, an annual event known as the President's Charity is organized by various clubs to give back to a select group of persons or organizations in need of support. President of the Kiwanis Club of Cable Beach, Deidre Bevins, says this year she has decided to enhance that initiative.
In 3 parts. One was a donation to Christian Bain, a 7-year-old child who was diagnosed with global developmental delay. I also gave a donation to the KRM group. It is a group that assists visually impaired children with receiving eyeglasses. And the final part of the President's Charity was a donation of a walker to Miss Eugenie Nixon, a 73-year-old stroke victim who is immobile.
In addition to those donations, 2 educational facilities also benefiting from the organization's annual give back.
Every year, the Kiwanis Club of Cable Beach donates a scholarship in memory of Charles Johnson to the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute for a student studying auto mechanics. We also gave a donation to the Stephen Dillard Primary School, who we partner with. We have a K-Kids here, and also for use of their facilities from time to time. We donated some items in preparation of the children returning to school to keep them sanitized.
A quick look at sports when we return.
I love sunsets. Now that I'm retired, it's the simple things in life that are enjoyable. I couldn't say that a few years ago because I never thought of or planned for the inevitable, and I never considered the debt I would leave my family in.
BAF's final expense plan. Coverage up to $50,000 and it never decreases in value. Affordable monthly payments that never increase. Accidental death coverage and no medical exam or lab test required.
Now that I have BAF's final expense plan, I worry no more.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Having the choice to dine indoors is so 2020. Make your appointment to be vaccinated today.
This message has been brought to you by the Government of the Bahamas in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports. Well, Janika Edie skillfully controlled the ball and scored a goal for the Bahamas in the 8th minute against Anguilla. The Bahamas' under-20 women's national soccer team held on to win 1-0, picking up 3 points in the CONCACAF Women's Under-20 Championship qualifiers. The match was played in Curaçao this week. The Bahamas has wrapped up group play in the tournament, finishing with a 1-1 win-loss record. They were in Group B along with the Cayman Islands and Anguilla. They lost 2-0 against Cayman to open group play on Monday. Although the Bahamas and Cayman have 3 points each, Cayman holds the tiebreaker and has 1 game left. This is the first time in several years that the Bahamas' under-20 women's team has competed in the tournament. The other 10 teams in the tournament are host nation Curaçao, Bermuda, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, Dominica, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, Suriname, and Belize. The winners from the 4 groups will advance to the knockout stage, which is set for the first quarter of 2022. And the Freedom Farm Baseball League recently returning from the Babe Ruth Cal Ripken Baseball Major 70 World Series and finished 4th in the international bracket. The Bahamas was one of 25 teams competing in the event hosted at the Ballparks of America in Branson, Missouri. The team members included Marlon Bostwick Jr., Alexander Burrows, Justin Colebrook, Teron Davis, Mario Dean, Kyson Dorsett, A.J. Knowles, Jamar Miller, Trey Nemore, Ethan North, Sheldon Jones, Elvis Pardo, Logan Roll, Dawes Sayers, and Carlton Storr. The team was managed by Marlon Bostwick Sr., who's assisted by Greg Burrows Sr., Dr. Stephen Roll, and Ronaldo Dorsett. Now, Major 70 is a level of baseball beyond Little League, but before professional baseball that allows players to play on 70-foot base paths with a 50-foot pitching distance, allows runners to take leads and steal for the first time, playing mainly by official baseball rules. And that was a look at sports on this Sunday. I'll check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson, Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital. I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID. Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
I miss going out with my friends and dancing the night away.
I miss being asked, do you want to sit inside or outside at a restaurant?
I really miss traveling without having to get these COVID tests stuck up my nose.
I miss not having to wear a mask everywhere.
I miss going out to see a late night movie.
Want the pandemic to end? Make your appointment now to get vaccinated.
This message has been brought to you by the Government of the Bahamas in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
It's time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Amajal. Outside of our studios, we are under mostly cloudy skies with some recent light rains. Temperature at 82 degrees. Relative humidity 78%. We have northeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,015.3 millibars. That's 29.98 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening. 84s in Marshall, Babaco, Greentoul, Key, also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands at 85 degrees, 85 also in Alistown, Bimini, 85 in Harbour Island, Roxani, Lutra, Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador, Alderstown, Cat Island, Rim Key, and Georgetown, Exuma also register in 85s. We're picking up some 84s here in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 85, 85 in Ackles, Magic Taninago, 86, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight through Monday in the northwestern islands. The winds are going to be easterly around 15 knots, wave height 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. High tide will take place at 1:19 in the morning. Another high tide at 7:41 tomorrow morning as well. And then for the central and southeastern islands, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, and this will continue right through Monday. Wave heights sharply at 4 to 6 feet over the ocean with caution flags in place. And in the tropics, we are monitoring Tropical Storm Peter. Peter is back in winds of 45 miles per hour, moving towards the west-northwest at about 17 miles per hour. And the forecast track takes it just to the north of Puerto Rico sometime on Tuesday evening before taking a turn towards the north, and that should move well to the east of the Bahamas by midweek. Second tropical storm just formed. This one is called Rose. It is out there just to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. Wind speeds sustained at 40 miles per hour. This system is moving north-northwest at 16 miles per hour, and it is expected to weaken some by the middle of this week. Satellite pictures showing that troughing still hanging across the northwest and central Bahamas, and that will continue to wake pockets of showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. And our forecast for tonight calls for mostly cloudy conditions with some showers still lurking around late tonight, 77 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow, it's going to be a mixed bag of cloud and sunshine, but more clouds than sun, and there will be pockets of showers and thunderstorms again tomorrow. 88 degrees will be the high temperature. The extended weather forecast, our 7-day forecast, will keep showers and isolated thunderstorms in the forecast right into Tuesday, but we expect much improvement on Wednesday with lots of sunshine, and that will continue for the balance of next week. I'm John.
Thanks, Basil. And that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.